There's a quiet strength in silence, a kind of power most overlook because they're too absorbed in being seen or too eager to be heard. But to those who walk the Stoic path, silence isn't emptiness. It's presence. It's command without display. In a world built on noise, silence unsettles people. It breaks familiar patterns. When you stop reacting, stop explaining, and stop feeding others' need for validation, something shifts. You become steady, unreadable. And in human nature, that steadiness draws attention not because it seeks it, but because it contrasts so deeply with the chaos around it. Epictetus once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Beneath that simple truth lies a deeper understanding. Silence is not withdrawal, but awareness. When you are silent, you step outside the noise. You stop being swept into it and start observing it. And from that stillness, clarity returns. You've felt this before, the quiet gravity of restraint. The moment you stop chasing, stop arguing, stop over-explaining something, and the dynamic changes. People notice. They wonder, because silence interrupts the pattern. Most are conditioned to constant noise, to emotional exchanges that affirm their sense of control. When you choose silence, you create space, and space demands reflection both in you and in them. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike your enemy. When others are loud, remain still. When they are chaotic, stay composed. When they reach for control through reaction, let their reach fall empty." Silence is not weakness, it's discipline. It's the art of conserving energy until action is truly needed. It's the refusal to be pulled into every passing storm. The Stoic remains silent not because he has nothing to say, but because he knows the value of his words and the cost of reaction. Every reaction is an exchange of power. The more you react, the more you spend. The more silent you remain, the more centered you become. As Seneca wrote, "He who is brave is free." Sometimes bravery isn't in confrontation, it's in restraint. It's the courage to walk away without explanation. That is not weakness, that is mastery. For silence, when guided by wisdom, is not the absence of response, it is the presence of control. Scarcity creates value not only in economics but in human connection. When you speak too much, explain too much, or reveal too much, you remove mystery. You leave no space for others to imagine, to reflect, or to wonder. But silence invites curiosity, and curiosity draws people closer. A Stoic does not use silence to manipulate. He simply lives with such order within himself that others are naturally drawn to it. They sense something steady, a quiet composure that remains intact when others lose control. They wonder how you stay calm in uncertainty, how you remain grounded when everything around you trembles. That's the quiet power of presence. Like still water, your silence reflects rather than reacts. In it, people begin to see themselves, their emotions, their projections, their insecurities mirrored back to them. And that can be unsettling because silence removes distraction. It forces honesty. Seneca called this tranquillitas animi, the tranquility of the soul. When you carry that inner calm, others can feel it without you saying a word. It is the discipline of contained strength. Silence isn't avoidance, it's self-mastery. It's the wisdom to know when speaking adds clarity and when it only adds noise. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." That is the essence of Stoic silence. We don't need to announce virtue, we live it. Through calm presence, through deliberate action, through restraint. Over time, this kind of silence changes you. It becomes dense, grounded, unmistakable. People can feel it before you speak. It steadies a room. It makes others pause before reacting. This is what the Stoics called apatheia, not the absence of feeling, but freedom from destructive emotion. When you reach that state, your silence speaks of mastery. It's not emptiness, it's depth. And when others are drawn to your silence, they're not chasing you, they're drawn to what your stillness represents. Peace, strength, wholeness. Because the modern world is built on noise, on people competing to be heard, to be right, to be seen. But when you don't need to compete, when you don't need validation, you reveal a rare kind of confidence, the kind that comes from self-command. Silence then becomes serenity, not a withdrawal from life, but an elevated way of engaging with it. It's proof that you no longer need the world's attention to feel significant. And even in rejection, silence transforms everything. Most chase after what's lost, trying to explain or prove themselves. But the Stoic sees rejection differently, not as a wound, but as a redirection of energy. To stay silent in the face of rejection is not indifference, it's understanding. It's the quiet recognition that your peace does not depend on someone else's acceptance. In that stillness lies true power, the kind that doesn't need to announce itself, because it's already whole. Your worth is not up for negotiation. A Stoic does not beg to be chosen, he chooses himself. He understands what Marcus Aurelius meant when he wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." To beg for validation is to step away from truth. To remain silent is to stay aligned with it. Silence after rejection unsettles those who once held power over you. They expect reaction, emotion, justification, explanation. But when you respond with stillness, you take back control. Your quiet becomes a boundary, a steady signal that says, "I am not broken, I am becoming." Every Stoic knows that pain refines the mind as fire purifies gold. Rejection is not punishment, it is purification. It burns away illusion, attachment, and dependence, and silence allows that process to unfold without interference. It gives you the space to rebuild, not out of pride but out of clarity, to turn rejection into reflection, to use silence not as withdrawal but as transformation. The disciplined mind does not seek revenge, it seeks understanding. It asks, what is this teaching me about attachment, about ego, about control? And in that reflection, something changes. Those who once dismissed you begin to feel your absence. Your silence becomes a mirror they cannot escape. Your calm becomes their contrast. They feel the weight of your peace. Because true peace has gravity, it draws attention not through noise but through presence. Rejection loses its sting when you realize it cannot touch what is within you. Only you can do that. And so the Stoic protects his inner world not with walls, but with awareness, not with pride, but with silence. Silence in the end is not withdrawal, it is strength contained, it is truth unspoken yet deeply felt.